Doge piled.
Yeah, I know I've said it earlier, but I'm just not a huge fan of how this game seems to think that you can always dodge pretty easily, and so they put things like that in there, when in actuality you really can't.
Right. Yeah, no hat trick. The guy with the hat got you. As he was taken to the trees, Swift chimes in with MP Bug doomed by a shrub. You're saying that that was a shrub to your performance? Oh. You're doing pretty well until you have this guy who's got you in the corner and just a dodge or two into the combo.
See, I wouldn't have minded quite so much with that, except that the guy doesn't actually appear
right
until later. That wasn't fair. That time, didn't actually let me dodge.
Right. Oh, that was really got the reloading time. It works. Flython wonders what game developers Hartman got his hands on. would it be too mean to say Silicon Knights? Anyway, just to catch that one, those are the guys that did Eternal Darkness and then nothing else until Activision pulled the plug on them and shoveled out a couple games. That.
That's the way I'm supposed to. Aha!
Also acceptable, Cryptera says the ones behind Call of Duty. You could have argued that there were supernatural forces involved with that whole Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Activision thing. No, Swift. Ben's hidden item sense was tingling. A lot more useful than a spider sense in video games, I would say. If you die, you can always reload, but if you miss something,
for the moment, the whole game again. Barry was just glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the bushes, an axe held high. Barry screamed and threw up his hand. The world exploded.
Geez, Alan, you didn't even direct your friend dying. For the sake of a twist, Mr. Shyamalan, you know.
It was necessary. Neil made Tom do it.
Ah. Oh, so maybe what they're going with was that it's not that Odin and Tor were friends of Tom's, at the time, but that they've been mental patients together. If Emil had gotten hold of them.
Huh. Awesome.
If I thought with what I've seen of Quantum Break, it might have to be Remedy, referring to which Call of Duty or which game developers Hartman got his hands on. Now, come on, everybody. You're missing the obvious point. Game development isn't really art, so there's no creativity to siphon. Am I right? The one saving grace here is that a lot of at least the enemies that come in waves like that, tend to be using the weaker weapons. You have a little bit of... You can take a couple hits without...
Right. That is one saving grace.
Right.
I thought.
There you go. Excellent.
Ooh, there we go. That's what I like to see.
Valiant does point out that development isn't the same as design. That is true.
I was just waiting for something to yank. And my luck.
Right. They're pretty good about having like if an enemy spawns, they can chase you to a cache, but I don't think they tend to be guarded. They're gonna hype. Cryptera give you.
Ooh, more coffee. The fact there's so much stuff means there's got to be a boss.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, you got a heavy duty flashlight in there too. Looks like.
All right. Another manuscript page.
Hartman watched as Wake's features slackened. The man was bullheaded, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost broken Hartman's nose the second time. But with a little time, he could break Wake down, give him proper direction. Wake was easily the most promising subject he'd had. Well, since Tom, really. Sleep well, Alan, Hartman whispered with a smile. Let me take care of you. He sniffed hard to clear his throbbing nose, swallowed blood, and barely tasted it.
Huh.
Were they implying that was like freshly after the first day, or was that like he hit him in the mouth instead of the nose? Probably one for the latter.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking
thinking. Yeah, the first time would be when he actually did break the guy's nose.
Right.
Gotta be.
Very.
Oh, Barry.
Ow!
Oh, thank goodness.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry!
Well, I slammed it shut when
Barry.
Nasty showed up, and the key fits.
Barry!
Find it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, this.
Honestly, you've got a. I hope I have like a survival, like or defend.
Yeah, probably.
Yep, survive the
Hurry
assault.
up, Barry!
Survive the taken assault. That's what I dub. Taken 4 when it inevitably comes out.
Gotta be here. Just hang on now.
Whenever the two heavies get FPS, probably want to switch to the shotgun. Or that. Seriously, how did you mistake a key for a twig? Ooh, he kind of like the guy kind of like kicked his legs off like a like it was one of those dummies, as he felt. If I thought was Barry. Oh,
Target.
but you only got the 2 shotgun shells and 2 flare gun shots. Well, you have more than 2 shotgun shells.
Yeah.
2 at a time. The 2 flare gun. Valiant, yeah, I agree. Valiant definitely seems like a boss, arena. In this case, it's a rush and not really a boss type.
In this case, it's just making it. Yeah, it just won't let me dodge.
Right.
Because yeah, my idea was since ever I kind of gets through there to just throw the flare gun.
Right.
But
How many flares do you have? Two.
oh, flares?
Yeah, flares.
3.
3. Ooh, not much better.
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it.
Part of the problem with the typical thing of like get to a corner and deal with them head on is that there's too many. Quarterberry, I'm fighting for my life here. Yeah, so it is being charitable and points out that Barry is working hard to throw things off a bit. The actual there you go. The actual ragdolling the big guys do great. Hashtag Team Barry. I think it's your cue.
Hashtag Team Barry. Of course he took
out.
it.
For the nearest, you're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through, if we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the
But
craziest.
maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But they wrote it down. There's a message somewhere at their farm, Barry. We just need to find it.
Look out!
You're back? Okay. With when the cutscene was, you want to get some drinks.
Al! God damn it, Al, talk to me!
Alright.
I like how they keep you at the...
I had lost my gun in the
Of course he did.
Barry was nowhere to be seen.
Yet this isn't a new chapter, so... Well, the best we can do, since I've got nothing else, is
Barry!
to try to find Barry.
Barry!
Oh, man, you're okay! Jeez, it's good to hear your voice! I was trying to get out of the car, but the ground gave way. Man, what a drop! Don't worry, your cutout is fine.
At least the cutout's fine.
Forget that! Are you okay?
I hit some bushes, didn't get a scratch. There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall.
That means we'll have to go the long way around.
Ah! Al! There's something moving down here!
Barry, it's a taken! Use a flare, Barry!
Oh! Yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
I'm good, Al! I'm great! Guess you never messed with anyone from New York City before, huh?
I bet.
This agent came from New York City.
New York City!
Yeah, I think Python pretty much called it. Not sure left the guy with night blindness on drive.
I'll be waiting!
Alright.
Barry, just wait for me, okay?
Al! I'm not staying here! It's suicide! I'm going to the farm! I'm gonna go ahead and secure the area! You can catch up! Don't worry about it! I'm on the case!
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry.
It's New York City, the new one, not the old one. That would just be York.
Remember, even old New York was once
What's
New
New
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam? Python really hopes Barry hastily scrawls, and Barry became president for life on a loose leaf. Or Barry becomes king of the sun with all the pretty ladies.
Oh dear.
It's funny we're all joking about that, because that's basically the plot so far. All these people find out about, the power Alan Wake has with writing and everything, and want to co-opt it for themselves, as opposed to deal with Harp.
Well, that's not good. Yeah, I have to. There we go.
Yep.
Of course, course, that's kind of a problem because if it doesn't land exactly in the
You're right, it still
spot,
keeps the
then,
momentum, so it hits you and doesn't fade a little. Right. You'll have to get a block pushing puzzle, push something in the way so it hits it. That's the path of light.
Yep.
That's what happened.
That is exactly what we had to do. Okay.
I love how the camera pans like it's an enemy sticking up on you, but it's actually a barrel.
Those barrels are dangerous.
Hey, John.
Don't think they're not. This all go this way. Looks like there's.
If you don't like York, then it's good you came here, not the Deadly Premonition dream. Oh.
I thought there was something.
When he stopped the car at the Anderson farm, Walter felt relieved. Oblivion was close at hand. The brothers wouldn't miss a jar of moonshine or two in the booby hatch. But then he saw the man on the porch, and he knew who it was. Driving for his life and knowing it was useless, he didn't realize he was crying until he couldn't see the road for the tears.
John can't hear us over Creedence. Dad rock on Dad Day.
Okay.
I always heard that that REM was like the music. If you were trying to find like the band your parents listen to, it's that one. So you might think it's an average barrel, but moving containers contain a solid snake 20% of the time, not immune attack. But if you take cardboard boxes out of the equation, how many moving containers? I question your methodology, Swift. your devotion to statistical rigor.
In this case, I got my thermos and my manuscript page, so I am out.
Right. And I didn't think we'd be able to make it through an entire chapter without spending some time in the woods. And here we are again with, I think, the same as the last two chapters.
Only this time I don't have a flashlight, so I can't hope to pick on anything. I get the horrible feeling that I missed it, but I somehow doubt that's.
There was a scientific study, as Swift says. Let me guess, involving nanomachines, right? The sun?
Shadows crawled over the gate. I needed a light to destroy them to get through.
Cryptero asks, what is the point of thermos?
It is just a collectible.
Yeah, they are collectible items. Thermos is love. Thermos is life.
Crazy the thermos.
And some people think of coffee as the nectar of the gods, but another opinion.
I hoped there'd still be a working generator somewhere around here to power up the old lights by the gate.
Closer than you think.
Agent Nightingale stared at the passed out rider. The man was sleeping off one hell of a night. Nightingale felt a stab of envy at Wake's oblivion, but he had a job to do. He put the gun to Wake's head and almost became a murderer. His hand shook and his throat felt tight and dry. Biting his teeth, he tried again to pull the trigger. He lost the nerve. Wake stirred. Nightingale would have to settle for an arrest.
Yeah, Nightingale wanted to kill Alan, but it didn't work out.
Yeah. He had no problem shooting at him when he was at the radio station.
Well, there's a difference between, shooting at somebody and then basically executing.
Cryptero says, and this coffee moonshine is nectar of the gods. You get the wrong badge, Cryptero will take you to meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swift was saying the point of the coffee is you have an achievement for a collectible, and collectibles are also there to add replayability.
I could sense the movement in the woods ahead. Facing the enemy without a weapon was dangerous, but I had no choice.
Imagine the most sardonic scare quotes you can imagine somebody doing. Yeah, replayability. Because
so I've got no flashlight batteries and no weapon.
Make them count.
Well, I can't make them count when I don't have any of them.
Yeah, it count. the light will
there's somebody.
The light will recharge. You don't hit.
Yes, it's a convenient
Okay, 3 of them at once is a indication you are not meant to fight them. Oh, but you got that.
There we go.
But I hope you pull it before one of them hits you, because once you get combo, you're not gonna, you know.
Okay.
Secretary, exactly. Cal Ambrosia was supposed to melt your human insides because it was just for gods. I haven't heard that part of the story, but that sounds like something the Greek gods would do.
Yeah, the entire idea was that ambrosia it would actually destroy.
Oh, I didn't know.
At least in some. In other stories, it made you a god, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. It's a variant of, like, the fruit of immortality that you become.
A car was driving away from the farm, headed in the same general direction as I was. For all I knew, it was Barry, caught in the consequences of leaping before
Not
looking.
our Barry.
And Alan has plenty of room to talk about people leaping before looking.
Seriously. Oh.
Or thermos.
Or flashlight.
But that's a heavy. Yep.
Oh, yep.
I'll definitely take it.
I really should have taught Alan proper firearm safety. I keeps dropping his guns everywhere.
Right. If he had better gun control, he wouldn't keep losing.
And we're in a blue state. There can't be that many guns lying around anyway.
Seriously.
The car was heading for the cabin up ahead. It wasn't far. If it was Barry, I would see the damage soon.
He has no faith in Barry. Wow.
Yeah, that's a mean way of referring. I was gonna go with that's a mean way of referring to your friend the damage. With scrubs in the heavy duty flashlight nonsense. There's literally no downside to it, so basically it just reduces the odds of you not running through a battery when you focus the beam on something. Yep. Although, if they're going to a cutscene there.
I'm trying to deliver each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
I had seen glimpses of the light before. I had seen it in my dream. It was a strange spaceman or a diver in a bulky suit. He was the one who'd been placing the pages on my path.
Huh.
There must be an epic facepalm every time you miss a page.
Right.
The dark presence followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction to the next. But it was still bound to follow the story and chained to the dark place it came from. When the story reached the end it longed for, it would finally be free.
Huh.
Now, the one thing I'm worried about is when the guy says time and place. Like, it's like I keep saying, there are two things that can ruin a coherent narrative, and that's, you know, cloning and time travel.
I don't believe I can actually disarm.
No, just avoid them.
Oh, it has been a while since we last had Beatrice.
You think the light presence would have warned you, you know.
It's got enough to worry about just trying to get us to not die from dark presence.
Right.
You can't save yourself from bear traps, something, then you're kind of beyond help, I think. I guess there's just no caches or.
And the dark presence left Earth for no reason.
The
I
storm
win.
raged
Yeah.
on as the Anderson brothers walked unsteadily away from the clinic with the other patients in tow, knowing that this time they wouldn't return. The darkness around them seethed with horrors, but Tor and Odin were unafraid. Their eyes glinted with guile. They knew every secret path, and there was blood on their hands. They had fought these shades before.
Oh, finally.
Someone had left a gun behind. Now I had a fighting chance of reaching the farm.
My problem with this one is that they're trying to portray Tor and Odin as though they actually were, you know, crazy, and not just in the sense of knowing the truth, you know, like Lovecraftian investigator crazy.
Right.
And if they meant to be that they are crazy because they know the dark presence and the truth and everything, they did not pass it off very well.
Right.
Oh. Hmm. 。 bet you have to, yeah.
I bet you all thought that I did not notice it. Can they get caught by their own characters? I doubt it.
Fair enough.
He tried to keep us from our coffee. He deserves death.
Oh, that's a neat touch too. You tempted to run to the generator, but actually already broken.
Oh, nothing else down here.
Swift thinks that they're crazy and know the truth, but unrelated details. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that would make.
A boomstick for the win.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that they were crazy, and as a result of being crazy and artists, that's how they interacted with the dark present.
Right.
And then it's fed on.
I'm hoping that at some point we can get like a timeline of this game. Kind of like when you get done watching Memento the first time, you then watch it in chronological mode.
Oh, yeah.
What's the funny thing about Memento is actually...
Okay, so they do not actually get affected.
Right. The funny thing is
really frustrating.
Right. The funny thing is I had absolutely no trouble following Memento because, games are just so long, we play them with a week between segments. But I think it's more I lose track of things.
You get distracted, and then...
Yeah, kind of get distracted, and then...
So far, so good.
Yeah, this is one of the tropes, as Cryptero points out. Sometimes it's the crazy people that know the most truth. Yeah, that's a concept that a lot of stories use. It's the people that because they don't.
Yeah, that time I tried to dodge it, it just didn't work.
Right. Because they reject the illusions that the real world, or society, or whatever whatever it's a metaphor for in that particular story, they can see the truth.
I'm really worried that this is a place with infinitely respawning people, which if so means I just wasted a lot of shotgun.
I don't think it is. The music's been... It's been like Resident Evil style with the music.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think it actually is.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Especially since, there are bear traps, so I can't run all the way.
Right.
Yeah, they're just going to be...
Drop a flare behind you, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
I've watched enough time, though. Oh, there you go.
Me. There we go.
Okay. Oh, you even heal up almost instantly in a safe place, too.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm calling it, you're going to get sniped with a hand axe as you make it there, but heals you up fast.
I could see the car, but there was no sight of the driver.
Swift has said he plays like this they play like this on Nightmare. No shame and flare and run. Python, hope we find that dog in one of those traps.
Hello? Anybody here?
Ooh.
Barry!
No! Danny, you're not... Please! What are you...
The front door was locked.
I'm sorry!
Oh, yeah, that's...
I think my best part is, again, the deadpan delivery. All of this happening, screaming, pitching a fit, and whatnot. Coffee thermos.
Yeah. That.
And then the front door is locked.
Barry was fighting for his life, but I realized I really needed that coffee.
You don't understand. You can't get this in stores anymore. Only 500 ever made. It's collectible. Locked.
Cryptero hopes to find that waitress again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cryptero. I don't think it's
I know
locked.
you. You were in jail the other day.
I went to the farm again for the moonshine,
Well, there's your ambrosia, dude.
Makes you see. You're not gonna miss it. They're in the loony bin. My buddy, Danny, I lost him. Something's gone wrong with him. It's not him. Like a real bad follow-up to a real good movie. The best friend's suddenly the bad guy. Who wrote this crap anyway?
No points of breaking the fourth wall, mister.
I have to say, a lot of writers feel bad if their stories don't go very well. Having somebody with their dying breath say that you're a lousy writer, it's like, man, that would just break my heart.
I've run through every possible course in my head. If I continue like the Dark Presence wants me to, the story I'm writing won't save Alice. It's a horror story, and it's going to kill her, and me, and everybody in this town. No one will survive. Darkness will consume everything. It's what it's wanted all along. It will be free, unstoppable. It used Alice to get to me, dangled her in front of me to keep me going. It was never going to release her. I'm going to change this. I'll escape.
So you don't negotiate with darkness.
I've written myself into the story. I'm now the protagonist. This feels like a terrible risk, but it's the only way to save Alice. I'll be bound by the events of the story just as much as anyone else who's been woven into it. The story must stay true for this to work. There have to be victims along the way, near escapes, cliffhangers. In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die. I'll write my own escape into the story next. I need help. Zane's going to be the one who'll help me. I'll make it happen.
Okay, so I think they're finally addressing why he doesn't write himself as winning. And I guess the idea is the darkness won't let him.
Well, I think the idea is that stories have their own internal consistency.
Right.
So if you were to write something that didn't make sense as a horror story, the entire thing would fall apart.
But it was the Dark Presence that made it a horror story.
Yeah, but the story is now that way. Oh. And the thing is, it's too late to change scripts.
The thing is, what would keep her from doing it? Because successful writers do change genre, and their fans are irate. They still do it.
Not in the same story as the thing. And that's the thing. It's like the story is already there. It's already, kind of set.
Let me guess.
So I'm thinking that the entire idea that since the story is now a horror story, if you were to write it as anything else, it wouldn't work.
Right. But that's the thing, though. Why wouldn't it work? Is it because Alan can't do it, or because the darkness won't do it, or what? Or the
It's entirely possible that the entire thing just wouldn't take. It's like whatever you write that doesn't fit is just rejected.
Right. Away.
I guess I'm thinking too like.
Yeah, you're thinking too much.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, you're not thinking like a writer.
Right.
I mean, basically, I can tell you that if something, appears in a story that doesn't make sense, it really does just get crumpled up and thrown away.
Right.
So it may be possible that, Alan could do something like that, but I think the entire idea is that it just, A, it wouldn't work, B, it probably would end up really bad.
Right.
That, and he has too much respect for craft to do something like that. Come on.
Criteria points out, what coffeed-up writer wrote the horrible plot? Python knows what he must do. Write a children's book. Let's have Barry guide our hand at the end and write the rest. He'll bring back the waifu waitress. And Swift said, well, you really start looking into this, you get a lot of which came first, chicken or egg questions.
Right. Yeah, if I were to place my bet, I think that's what would happen. That's the reasoning for it.
Yeah, I guess too.
Because the other thing too is that if you start writing an entirely new story, then all the rules change.
Right.
So it could entirely be that if you start writing, if you were the protagonist of a horror story and suddenly you're a completely different thing, what happens to you?
Well, of course, and kind of if it's like handled well, you kind of end up with something like
like what, Resident Evil 4?
No, I meant I want to say folklore, but it's not. Wolf Among Us thing was based off of. It's like
down at the farm. For a moment,
Fables. Yeah,
I felt bad for
completely different
After
genres.
all, I made it this
from.
far myself. But Barry was Barry.
No, coffee.
Let's get the coffee. Whereas when it's handled badly,
that's the thing though. Fables actually isn't like different genres.
Well,
it's all the same thing.
No. Well, I meant that you take characters from Fables,
Right.
that you're very different, and then the kind of stories that pop up.
Yeah, I think you're kind of confusing the idea of like the different characters and things that can be inspired by. So I thought there was a way to write a battery. Huh.
I think you can focus.
There we are.
You can focus the beams, but you don't think you lose. Oh, you do lose
Yeah.
battery. Okay.
And then when you focus a beam like that, you do.
Ah.
But yeah, you're kind of getting confused between the idea of characters and where the inspirations come from, and the actual story itself.
I think we crossed wires at some point in there. I basically to kind of sum up, what I was talking about the first time. When you were explaining that about the like the story, wouldn't work and everything. Basically, what I was trying to talk about the first time was why it won't work.
Right.
Is it because Alan cannot will himself to do it, or because like the dark presence or whatever's bringing it to life won't allow it or something? That's all I was kind of ruminating upon.
Who knows? Maybe that's the reason why he's facing writer block.
Right.
The only thing he can write is what would work for Roy.
Yeah, that would be an interesting enough thing to do it. It's like the darkness is a metaphor for criticism and literary critique, and it's like just he feels it being rejected if he tries to get too far afield.
I don't think that would be it.
2 out of 5 stars. I'll show you.
Jeep does not handle very well off-road. Ironic. Yep, I make it a point of just hopping into every car I can.
All the Grand Theft Autos.
Because I can.
This particular one is kind of egregious.
Wait a minute. I bet I can
get up there, right.
Hold on.
The particular one's kind of egregious because there isn't really anything you could have done to damage that last one.
What do you mean?
Well, normally it's like you'd expect if you run over a bunch of take and do a lot of damage to your vehicle, then you get a new one. There's not really anything you could have done to that one. It was right there at the cabin.
Right. Also, Alan really needs to work on his cardio.
Seriously.
Let's see. Got 12 for that.
With plenty of plenty of.
Yeah, having extra shots per clip, I think is.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I have slightly more.
Give it more range over.
As I'm sure everyone's noticed, that storm we all felt coming is finally here. The boys at the Weather Service reckon it'll last until morning at the very least. Pertaining to that, let me read that missing persons alert again. Looking for a Caucasian woman, 30 years old, slim and blonde with blue eyes. She may be lost in the woods, and it's possible she's been injured in a car accident.
That would be Alice.
Please make sure you get her indoors.
Really?
I would say hop in one of the cars and run them over.
I bet you would.
Switch theory is that the developers put them there in case somebody didn't take the hint they were supposed to drive.
That could be.
Yeah, the first one wasn't so far you couldn't walk it. But... Terry was wondering, why does the car radio?
That is a question.
You mean to listen to the missing persons thing?
Well, any of the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would just love if you could go from this segment of of running from the darkness and everything, hop in a car, to immediately put on some easy listening. Well, there's some damage.
It's only the rear view. Whoa, this thing slides like anything. Wow.
You almost went all the way around there.
Which would have been kind of neat, but...
Right. Yeah, some late night jams. While you're out there running from the dark presence, maybe you want to groove.
Not the area. Yeah, because that's the truck.
Oh yeah.
Huh. So this was the path I could have gone earlier. Right. That's just kind of a get stuff.
Get stuff.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah, the light presence kind of scattered some stuff around. There wasn't a manuscript page there, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, just the gun and some thermos, I think, in the
Right.
cabin. Ah, okay. Yeah, I can't blame you for just wanting to avoid it.
Do I
Is
have to...
there anything in the field you want to get? I guess I'm going to take a look. It's weird they'd be guarding nothing, but...
Well, you have to drive around and...
Oh, is that a page? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, it closed. I think you...
If you head a little forward, look right, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't. Right in the middle, no. Yeah, buddy, no hitchhikers.
So yeah, it looks like... Hop out and head this way.
Right.
Fair enough.
All right. Vehicle segment over. You run back and park your light.
Potentially, but I don't...
Yeah. The checkers are bad.
And nope, I am not fighting all of those guys.
Seriously.
Yay, safe space.
They're not gonna be able to cross you past that anyway.
Yep. It is possible that it'll go out and keep chasing me, but hopefully that will.
Right.
I better drop down there. First. Nope.
Kind of disappointing.
You've got to be kidding me.
The farm.
No. Probably.
It's a landmark. It could be something. What?
I admit, I was kind of expecting the Dark Presence to move us in
The
like
windmill.
a buzzsaw. Nope, can't get in. Okay.
Yeah, it would have been a little over the top, but it would have been.
Suddenly, the writer has become Don Quixote. Oh, interesting. Finding a light.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we set off this firework? Wonder if that's what... Ah, thermos!
There you go.
I'd known the brothers used to be some kind of rock stars, but it hadn't really sunk in until I saw the stage.